Hello everyone. Excuse me. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. All right, so maybe the moment some of you have been waiting for. We have a finished journal here. So this is that Hazel of Heatherland journal that I've kind of been working on over the last month, I guess. All finished and it's available for sale. So if you've kind of had your eye on this, go now to check out the listing on Etsy, and I'll have the link down to that down in the description below. So this is, for those of you who haven't seen this before, I gave myself a little challenge to create a journal from, I bought two different junk journal kits off of Etsy, which one of them included the cover of this book and a few of its pages. And then some other fun papers. And then the other kit had a whole lot of other crazy kinds of papers and things. And so I said, well, I'm going to only use what's in the kit along with a few bits and pieces of ribbon and trim that I've got and inks, basically, to create this journal. So there you have it. So it's really creative and I think kind of eclectic, kind of girly, kind of neutral a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So really pretty cover. I decided I didn't really have, and I had to expand the spine. So the spine, because it got chunky. So the spine is 2¼ inches wide. And then I kept the original spine and just glued it on top of that. So you still have that basically on the journal. And then to not cover this with fabric, the fabric that is on the actual spine is fastened on the inside below this fabric. And then on top of that, I wrapped this sheer lace. So you can still read the title. And so then the lace had this design on the back, and it's just really sweet. I love it so much. So yeah, definitely want to do something like this again too. I know I say that all the time. One thing I didn't expect was, and oh, by the way, the signatures are sewn into not the spine, so they will hopefully lie a little bit more flat. Although, as you can see, she is a little bit chunky and may need some kind of closure at some point. I didn't add one because, as you can see, also got a little bit wider than I expected. And that's because the spine is straight, and before I expanded it, it had a little bit of bend to it, and so then this side of the pages were able to be flush almost with the front and back covers. So in hindsight, maybe I should have done something different, but honestly, I kind of really like how it looks, but that is something to be aware of, I guess. So if you were going to add a closure, and maybe I would maybe wrap it this direction rather than this direction, because it will eventually, bend your papers here, which I'm sure you don't want. So, okay, so all that being said, let's do a quick walkthrough of this. So very I think creative ways of using paper. I did a lot of coffee dyed book pages that I then did a gesso, added gesso to them, and then on top of that there's like I used these couple of different colors of these along with water to create this kind of watercolor look on top of some of the pages. And same with the stenciled pages. You'll see some stenciled pages. I combined the stamp ink with gesso, white gesso, to kind of create a different color of paint, essentially. And so you'll kind of see that throughout the journal as well. So lots of writing space in these, actually. Not gonna be in need of any writing space, but yeah, as you can see, it's a bit chunky. She's a little fat. So little collages kind of throughout, and then there's bits and pieces of paper like this kind of tucked into things. This, I mean, all of the paper came in the little kits that I bought. So yeah, so I just, some of them came pre-coffee dyed, so I didn't change those. But otherwise, I did coffee dye a lot of things. I made these little flowers from book pages, and then I did a little cross stitch for the center to hold them all together. So you'll see those throughout as well. There's some artwork throughout from what was provided, and some, as artwork is, some naked bodies. But this was just an extra piece of paper, and then I turned it into a journaling card with covering the writing with some extra scraps of that paper. This is a really cool paper. It's actually see-through. It's like a vellum that then they printed on. It came from a book of some kind. So this page is fun. We've got a collaged chili con queso recipe here. And that's turned into a tuck spot, and then tucked into that is some more of these awesome papers. Really, really grungy, and really just, I think, really cool. So there is a coffee smell to this that eventually will go away, but still, it still remains. This again was part of that kit. I did reinforce it with some sari silk on the back side, so that should be fine. The other side of that vellum page, we've got a little ruffle there. I did do some sewing throughout as well. Pages like this, I try to cover the writing with the gesso and then the ink, so that you would have more writing space if you wanted, or you could put your own photos there or something. During the, one of my stencils that I use, that I allowed myself to use, was one that had these stars on it. So you'll see stars and moons. I made some moons also. I just freehand drew a moon, a crescent moon, and so you'll see that throughout the journal also, along with hearts, some butterflies, and some birds that I freehand drew as well. These are some pages from this actual book, so those are just included there in this little tuck spot. And then I made a pocket here with this postcard, or I don't even, it's all one piece, so maybe from a brochure, but I just stuck that into this clear pocket from some packaging that was included with the kits. So there's that. There was a napkin also that was in one of the kits, so I included some of that onto this page. Oh, and what I was trying to say before, when I was coffee dyeing these, I laid some of the stencils out onto the pages, so sometimes you'll maybe see a faint image kind of coming through from that, which I think is really cool. So here's one of those little birdies. His poor little tail is getting bent, but there's a birdie, and then this also was part of one of the kits, so that got coffee dyed, and now it's just there. So that's signature one. I did change the order of the signatures from how I decorated them, if you've been following along. So if you notice that, good job. So this is a pocket that I had used this to create a large heart, and so then this was the leftover piece. I backed that with some of that sewing pattern paper, so it is a little bit see-through, and then just did this little collage over the top of it, and then tucked into that was this book page that I backed with a different piece of the paper that came with the kit that I coffee dyed. So that's that page. This is a little tuck spot. I just added some of this trim, a little one of those little flowers that I made, the butterfly that I made out of the book page, and then another just random piece of writing paper for you to journal on. It's got lots of grunginess on it, and then that's on this book page that has really cool math and fun things there. And then the back side, again, another page that was coffee dyed, but it was laying on top of the stencil that had some ink residue on it, so that kind of bled onto the coffee dyed page, and it just made this really cool design. So turn that into a tuck spot, and then that is it's got this journaling space on it. Can write on here. Here's one of the moons that I made, and then you can see the kind of remnants of the stars from when that was being coffee dyed. And then tucked into that is this playing card that I gessoed the back and added that ink to, so you could actually write on it. You know, some of these are a little bit quirky, and I used what I had available to me, so if it's not for you, I wouldn't feel bad if you got rid of this stuff or changed it. I think that, you know, take this and do with it what you will. And so then this page is actually an envelope. The flap of the envelope was right here, so I removed that, and then I just basically turned it into a belly band. And then tucked into that, and then it's closed. I glued this little birdie there. So tucked into that is this page that I could never figure out what to do with, and this page. So I just kind of hid this one behind the other one. And again, if you didn't want to keep that in your journal, I would not be sad about that at all. Another one of the little flowers, and then I just did some messy kind of seed stitching here. And so that is on the other side too, on top of this little collage of paper scraps that I had. Really pretty page here. And then again, I covered some of those with the gesso and the ink so that you'd have more writing space. Here is one of those stenciled papers that I made that paint out of. Here we've got a nice little pocket. A little bit of collaging here, so you could actually write on here, and then another flower and a heart down here. And then tucked into that pocket is this journaling card. Again, that's been stenciled. And then the center of this signature has this gorgeous picture painting. And then on the other side, I had stenciled, and this was the other part of the collage that got folded. So this is all glued down, and then there's room here for you to write or do whatever you want to do here. And then tucked into that pocket is this piece of paper with the green color on it. It's a little bit fragile, that one, but some ledger paper, and then that had the stencil on it, so then I continued the stars idea onto this next page. So you could actually write over all of this if you wanted to, or do whatever you want to do. Honestly, it's going to be your journal. So some more grungy goodness here. And so I made a little tuck spot with this big heart, a little bit of trim, and then another flower, and some more journaling space here. I just love how that looks. It's so cool. This is a very grungy journal, so if you're into that and girly grunge, then this is the journal for you, seriously. So and then this is a page that I tipped in. So this is the other side of that envelope, and so I just glued it like this. So now we have a tuck spot here with some extra writing space, and then the page, actually I added this stencil here, and then on the other side you've got ships. So from this side it looks like it's just a regular page, but that's how I put that together. So, and then a regular page, another stencil here on that really cool math paper. Some more ledger, some more coffee dyed paper. Oh no, that one's fine. Oh, this is the one, I made it into kind of a belly band, so there is that much room. So I don't know how you'd want to I put it in straight up and down because for some reason I can't handle that. But, you know, do with it what you will. So this is just some more writing paper. This came from a recipe book, so there is some writing on here already. But I don't know, if it were me, I would just write around that and use it how it is. But again, do with it what you would like. A really pretty page from a book about flowers or gardening. And then this is actually the page color, and then I just grunged it up with some coffee, and then I just added this little butterfly with a little bow on it to the page. It's not really a chalk spot. It's more there just for decoration. And then another page where I just kind of blocked off the copy so that I'm in work mode now. The text so that you can write on that if you'd like. And then this originally was the first signature. So it's funny to me that it's now the third signature, but some stars and moon on this spread, so some more little bits of writing space throughout. And then obviously you could write here too if you wanted, maybe like in a white gel pen, and then this grungy little piece of paper here tucked right into that moon. Little flower up there, another stenciled page, and then stenciled on the back side as well. Really good page for some journaling. Another bird with some paper tucked up into him. This is the other piece of that really cool paper, and you can see the ink transfer a little bit better here. Isn't that cool? It was so hard to glue that down because both sides of it were just really cool. And then, so tucked into that is just this little slip of paper here. On the back side, I did a belly band with a different piece of that money. And then I added some ribbon trim and then the two little flowers. And then tucked into that is this piece of journaling space. Some more ships. And then this one is just 3 hearts that I glued down. They're not completely glued down. I guess if you wanted to try and make them stand up a little bit, you could. But then I just did a stitch down the center of them. A little tuck spot here with that I kind of collaged in this little fabric rose. And I turned the book page little scrap that had these leaves into the leaves for the flower there. So yeah, I was being really creative with what I had to work with for this journal for sure. And then tucked into that is this little piece of journaling space. More ships and another little collage there with some more writing space. And then this page, I just added this little piece of writing with a paper clip, and then you've got a little heart with some lace down there. Some more stenciling on both sides. This one I like a lot. Turned out really cute. This was also part of the kit that came. It's obviously a card, so I glued the back side of the card down and covered the sentiment with some paper, so you can write on all of that if you want, and then turn that into a tuck spot. So tucked into that is this page. I think this is the only one. I was trying out this different stamp color and it wasn't for me. So I think it's only on this particular journaling card. But then down here on the bottom, you can see I did some little cross stitches there. And then of course the back side of that is the straight stitch part of it. Another little collage. And then this I turned into a big pocket with this page tucked into it. So some more journaling space for you there. Oh, now it's going to be difficult for me. I haven't experienced that yet with this one. And then the other side of that really cool gold color paper is folded over, and that's then your back page for the journal. So a little tuck spot that I made out of it's actually a trading card, like a hockey player, I think. I don't remember the name of the hockey player. And this is tucked into it. So there we have it. Cute little journal. Lots of fun putting this together. I'm sure you can imagine I had kind of a lot of leftover bits and pieces and papers, so I'm going to be including this with the journal to be used however you like. Honestly, I think you could get a whole nother journal out of this, maybe a smaller one, but probably could get another journal out of it for sure. So anyway, yeah, so this will be available on my Etsy shop, and if you're interested, the link is down below. Bye, guys.